Hi everyone. So I thought I'd try something a little bit different today. For those of you who, noisy chair, for those of you that have followed with some of the things I've commented on here or there, I have a Poshmark shop where I sell mostly used clothing as just kind of a side thing. A while back I went to an auction, or it was an online auction, and I managed to win a whole pile of clothing, mostly ladies clothing. And it was a full closet plus I think 3 or 4 big Rubbermaid tubs full of clothing. And so when I was sorting through everything, I found there were some other things that were just nothing I would be able to sell or would want to sell or was in any condition to sell. So when I was sorting through some of it, I found there were eight articles of clothing that had a problem with them of some sort or other. They either had a stain on them that I couldn't remove, or they had a tear, or that they just were something I knew would not sell very well on Poshmark. So what I thought I might do with them is I thought, well, why don't I try to salvage some of the materials from there to use for my art journaling and junk journaling and things like that. So I have 8 pieces of clothing, and they either have a bit of embroidery on it, some lace. I am going to salvage the buttons. I can use those for something somewhere. And what I thought I'd do is I'd just take you along with me as I go through and salvage what I can from this, and then I'll show you the collection of things. Some of them have, this is really fun, I'm not even sure if you can see that. This one has all sorts of fun beading on it, so I'm going to salvage all these beads. They've cute little buttons on here. So I thought, well, I'll just try salvaging what I can from here, and if I don't use it, that's no big deal. Each item of clothing worked out to, I think, with what I paid for it, I think I'd have to double check, but I'm thinking it's somewhere in the range of 5 to 10 cents per item. So if I end up getting nothing out of this, I've thrown out less than $1. So I got started on this last night, or yesterday, and then I thought, well, why don't I get this on videotape? So on this particular blouse, I started on this sleeve, and I took off one button and the little piece of lace. So I thought that's a nice, pretty little lace design. It has a little, what's the word I'm looking for? It was gathered, so it's not perfectly flat. I might either iron it, or I might just put it into, wrap it around something, a piece of cardstock or something, so that, and then pull it a little bit taut so that it straightens out. But anyway, so I salvaged these 2 pieces from here yesterday, and then I thought, well, I may as well put the rest of it on tape, and I'm just going to put all the goodies I have into a little bowl, and then I have it for later. So we'll start with this red blouse, and what I'll probably do is I'm probably just going to stop talking and I'll just videotape everything, and I'll come back later and just fast forward through this last portion. So I have both a pair of nice sharp scissors, and I also have my little stitch ripper. Now that the front is done, there, finally. This part is sewn down too much, so I'm just going to, as I did on the other sleeve, and there we have. Okay, this is not looking as easy. I think I might just let that go. Yeah, this part is stitched in too tightly and too carefully, and I'm too lazy to try that. So one down. Now this one just has a little bit of nice embroidery details here and there that why not? That's just an imprint on the fabric. But I think I think I might just take these ones that just have the embroidery detail. Oh, and the buttons. Let's not forget the buttons. So here we have just the first little bit of embroidery detail, and I'll probably cut it closer when I'm ready to use it. probably should have brought my other scissors that are bigger. Second little pretty piece of embroidery. That's just imprinted. That's embroidered. These are all imprinted. Third little piece of embroidery, and in here there actually, some of these spots there are little beads, so I'm thinking I might try to salvage the beads as well. I might be playing 52 pickup with these in a moment. I don't know, this might not be worth the effort to get them, but if I can even get them. Nah, this is turning out to be more work than it's worth. I might come back to these another time. Next one it's on a sweater, but it has pretty little embroidery along there. And I think I might try to salvage these pieces to use in something. Kind of like this trim as well. Oh, and the buttons. Definitely the buttons. Spent a lot of time studying that, didn't I? I'm just trying to decide if I want to keep this now, because once I snip it here, it's going to come undone. So I was just trying to decide if I wanted to try to keep the cabled edge, but it has knit stitches and purl into the cable. So if I cut along here, as I initially was thinking, everything's just going to come unraveled. So scratch that idea. And I know there's probably people on here that are thinking this is sacrilege that I'm cutting this apart. Well, it's stained and damaged. There's nobody that I would feel, I can't give it to somebody. Even somebody who is in need of clothing. It's stained. I'm not going to give it away to somebody. That's no. So I might be able to use these. I might have to find a way just to keep the edges from fraying at all, but we shall see. So I'm just going to continue to snip all these embroidered embellishments off here. I think I might go and get my other scissors in a moment. These ones were good for the buttons, but not so much for the larger bits of cutting. Yeah, I'm going to pause this for a moment and I'll be right back. Alrighty, I'm back with my full-size scissors. And these are not as sharp as my little ones, but hopefully it'll make the job a little faster. was a decoration that was on the back. Now let's get these guys up the front. We'll just do the same thing along the other side of the front. There we go. So another sweater down. Lots of fluff. Now this one didn't have a lot, but it does have this pretty design in the velvet that I'm going to, there's no buttons. I think I might set this aside and take the zipper later. But for now, let's just get the, whoopsie, sorry. Let's just get these designs off the front. Go. Now I'll decide. I think I'll keep them together for now, and I have a hunch these might end up going as a decoration on a cover of a junk journal. Now this, I'm almost thinking I might just keep this as is, because I might want to keep this satiny fabric for something. I'm thinking. I think I'll just put this one aside now. So this one I wanted to take the trim on the top or along the collar and this pretty panel down the front. And I want to salvage the buttons. Where is the sleeve? I think the sleeves are plain. Yes, sleeves are plain. I'm just gonna grab the buttons. It's a nice pretty little fabric covered button. You see what I mean? It has stains on here that I wasn't able to remove. So salvage this little bit along here, even with the buttonholes. I think it'll still make it could make a really pretty little edge or detail on a page. I'm almost wondering about keeping some of this fabric also. The sweater fabric, no, but I'm rethinking keeping some of the fabric from the blouses. Now I'm just going to snip off the collar. Nah, interfacing, it's harder to tear. And again, we'll decide on something. I might divide this up and use this portion here for something, then this portion for something else. We'll see. And I will, in the future, when I do use these pieces of fabric or these little embellishments that I've been collecting, what I plan on doing is I will show some details of that, or I will link back to this video so people can see what they came from. Now this, I do like some of these details, so I think I'm going to just try to keep the whole front panel. And when there are some pretty little details along the hemline, I think that'll be pretty just to put a little detail like that. There's little beads in here. I think that's what I'll do, is I'm just going to snip these guys off. So there we go. I can have these for later. I can just cut out the little piece that I want, attach it to projects. And now how to, I love, 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 love this bow. That will absolutely be going in some project somewhere, sometime. Absolutely. So there we have just this little bit here. Like I say, I might just take a little piece like this and incorporate that into a project. The ribbon, absolutely. So I'm looking forward to seeing where they land. And now this guy, oh boy. This is heavily embellished. I don't know if the embroidery would survive. Some of the beading, some of the beading is already, you can see here that this bottom band of beads, it's broke at some point and it's missing a bunch of beads in the middle. I think it's just as simple to that was easy. Oh, these are double button, huh? I'm gonna have to think through removing these buttons. Anyway, let's get some of these, finish up with these beads first. It does continue. Cool. this might take a little while. Well, I already have a boatload of little white beads, and I honestly am not sure what I'll use them for, so there's still like a million and three more on here, so I think I might stop with salvaging the beads on here. Now what I want to do is try getting these buttons off. See how, okay, so here's the bottom one. Need to be careful that I don't wanted to be careful that I didn't actually accidentally snip one of the threads on there, but I love that button. That's the back is like. So let's get the rest of these. To snip something, there's more little beads coming loose. Didn't I just say I don't need more beads? Oh boy. Okay, so now how many more beads do I want to? Probably don't need any more beads, but I seem to be pulling more off. What do you think, everyone? Is that enough beads? Actually, probably what I'll do is I'll probably just keep doing this on my own when I'm not filming, just because I might be here for a few more hours just just pulling off beads. I think this might be perfect movie watching activity. I think that's what I might do. So anyway, this has been fun. Like I say, I had these garments in my group of ones that I won on an auction, and I really didn't want to throw away all these cute embellishments that were on here that were good to use. The pieces of clothing, unfortunately, were soiled and had problems with them that I just wasn't comfortable with either trying to sell them or giving them away to any kind of charity. I think I might be finding a handful of buttons, renegade buttons or beads that have got away on me. Anyway, fair warning to anyone wandering around in bare feet in my dining room. So anyway, with these clothing, I don't feel bad by pulling off the embellishments off the fabrics, because the garments, I can't, in good conscience, I can't sell them. No one will want to buy soiled or damaged clothing. And I also am not comfortable with giving them away to any kind of charity for them to resell or to give away to people in need, because they're soiled. This is, no, I can't give them away. So instead of just, like I said before, instead of just tossing them straight into the garbage, I'm going to extract as much of the embellishments as I can from it and see what I can use them for. I honestly don't know what I'm going to do with this many beads that I'm pulling off this sweater, but oh well. I'll get them into a little container once I've pulled them all off, and then we'll take it from there. Anyways, I think I'll just get to the end of this line and call it good for now. So anyway, so thanks for taking a little bit of time to watch my little video with me destroying a few pieces of clothing. It's been fun. I've enjoyed it. It's a nice little way to use up things that I have around home that I can't use for anything else. I am happy to be able to salvage a little bit of goodness from this and be able to use them into either junk journals, art journals. I don't know what. I'll find something to use them on. But anyway, so that's my collection of reclaimed materials from a bunch of garments that otherwise would have been thrown in the garbage and wasted. So I'll try to show you. There went the bead. I knew there was one bead that got away. Anyway, I will hopefully be able to show you some pictures of what I use this for down the road. But until then, if you have some old garments that you're going to toss out, salvage some of the good stuff from it and see what you can use it for. Anyway, take care everyone, catch you later, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye now.